Hey YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Ian with iSell Media bringing you yet another fish YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 10-gallon planted beta tank, the kind of maintenance I do, the kind of equipment I'm running, and what I have learned personally from this tank. Also just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be starting a 3-part series on my 3 different tanks. This is just the first video in the series, but I wanted to give you guys a glimpse into my tanks and my maintenance, everything that I do and everything that I've put into them. I've put a lot of effort into my tanks, and I hope you guys can realize that and enjoy them as much as I currently do. So as far as the 10-gallon planted aquarium goes, I've got it pretty well stocked, but at the same time it is extremely empty. As far as my cleanup crew goes, I've got a couple of different Neurite snails, one giant mystery snail, some miscellaneous ghost shrimp that I picked up as feeders for my angel, decided I wanted to save them, see if they'd breed, a couple of red cherry shrimp, and then my beta Archimedes, which I talked about the last video, and the Piece de Resistance, a panda loach that I picked up. Figured I'd grow him out in here a little bit because he's a little too small to go into the 20-gallon, but that's where he will ultimately end up. As far as the equipment for this tank goes, I'm currently running a Night Crew Light, a good dependable little brand I found on Amazon. You may have heard of them, you may have not, but I've had really good experiences with their lights in the past. That, and on top of it, they're pretty cheap and they come in a huge selection of sizes. And as a broke college kid, I personally couldn't beat the deal that the light was. I'm also running 2 heaters, and I'll explain that in a second, but I'm running one of the just basic Tetra HT20, HT10, and then a Topfin 25-watt beta heater. And on top of that, I've got an older Topfin filter that came with the kit. Yes, it is a kit, judge me later. But as far as the filter goes, I mean, it's a beta tank. I don't need that high of filtration. I don't want to blow poor Archimedes away. Now some more information on why I'm running 2 heaters. So as I mentioned, I've got the Tetra HT10 and then the Topfin 25-watt, and a little bit of backstory. The Tetra is old. I'm talking 2.5, maybe 3 years old. But it's still doing a pretty consistent job. Yes, I'm going to replace it soon, but like I said, I'm a broke college kid trying to save up that $20. Just normally takes a couple weeks of budgeting for me. So the Tetra itself keeps the tank at around 74, but that's just a little too cold for my liking. So I threw in the 25-watt from a 3.5-gallon setup I had originally. It was a quarantine tank. I broke it down, decided why not put this this heater to use. So that keeps it at around 76, 77, which in my mind is a lot better temperature for the Loach and Archimedes himself. Alrighty guys, hope you're as ready for this maintenance as I am. Nothing is more fun than a water change. But that's how we keep our beta tank the beta tank. Alrighty guys, I'm back in the flesh. Hope you enjoyed that water change and that little bit of maintenance as much as I did. I can tell you that there's nothing more I would rather do on a Wednesday afternoon. Just kidding. There's a lot of other things rather than a water change, but you know what? A happy fish is a healthy fish, and all we're striving for here is healthy fish. Now, I wanted to talk about the equipment I used in the water change. So, to start off, I got this scraper with a kit. Just a little razor blade, nothing too sharp, but it's really good for getting some of that harder to get green algae that you normally see come up in fish tanks. On top of that, I used just a little scrubbing pad that came with the scraper itself, just to pick up and clean up some of the spots that I missed. And the one thing that I cannot live without is my gravel vac. This thing comes in handy. nothing like being able to get up all that dirt, debris, leftover food chunks that you just couldn't pick up with tweezers or by your hand. And as far as this one goes, it's really nice because it's got a nice little squeegee thing. Helps get the water flow starting, that way you don't have to taste your fish water, which I have done way too many times. Now for the off-camera maintenance. As far as that goes, I'm pretty conservative with the chemicals that I use just because I don't like to pour too much crap into my tank. I mean, nobody likes food or water chock full of preservatives and chemicals. I mean, shoot. So as far as the equipment I use for that, I normally pre-treat the water just a hair with a little bit of tap water conditioner and just a little bit of pH down. The pH down helps keep my range in 7.2, 7.3, which is where I like to run this tank at. And, I mean, the tap water conditioner is pretty self-explanatory. On top of that, after a decently sized water change like the 25% one I did today, I normally top it off with just a pinch or two of aquarium salt. Adds electrolytes to the water, and I mean, imagine drinking a Gatorade a day. I mean, it really can't hurt anything. I mean, unless you're drinking it just for the sugar, but who would do that? Now on to the final topic of the video, and probably what you guys are here for. This is what I have learned from my beta. Now, personally, I know that beta temperaments and fish temperaments can vary a ton in general, so this information may not apply to your fish, but it does apply to mine. As far as Archimedes goes, he's a really gentle giant, if I would say that, even though he's only 3 inches. But he doesn't mess with the shrimp, he doesn't mess with the loach. Every now and then he'll get a little feisty, decide to chase him around, but I have never once seen him actually attack any of the other livestock in this tank. And I've also read that this can be common in betas, but at the same time it's not. Your fish may terrorize anything else you put in the tank, and it may just not be a good fit. But personally, mine is a great fish. Real docile, real peaceful, and honestly just a whole lot of fun to have around. On top of all that equipment, I just wanted to give you guys a brief description of what I normally feed on a daily or bi-weekly basis. As far as Mr. Archimedes goes, I normally will drop in just a couple beta pellets, normally around 8 to 10, whatever he can eat in around 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. And if I'm feeling spicy, I'll add in some bloodworms. Almost every fish I have loves bloodworms, and I mean, you really can't go wrong with frozen foods because they're not chock full of preservatives and nasty stuff. As far as the shrimp go, I've just got a bit of Hikari shrimp cuisine and a little bit more of the Hikari algae wafers. These things go great together, but be careful when feeding shrimp. Normally they don't eat that much. Just a tiny pinch of shrimp pellets or not even a quarter of an algae wafer is more than enough for 3 to 4 days for me. But my tank is also heavily planted, years, individual circumstances may vary, but based off of what I've learned from them, about once every 3-4 days for a decent sized feeding works pretty well for me. Alrighty guys, I think that about does it for this video. Stick around if you want to see some b-roll of my fish. I'll be showing off the loach a little bit more, some of the snails, and maybe a shrimp if I can find one. But please go like and subscribe. Huge shout out to all the family and friends that have joined me on this journey. I know it's a little out of character, but I'm hoping that I can educate you guys just as much as I can random internet strangers. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Smash that subscribe button. God, I can't believe I'm saying that. And I'll see you in the next one where I talk about my 15-gallon nano reef.